I just gotta say, I'm not gonna mince words when I say this. Holy crap, what a race that was. After the last couple of years of the Bathurst 1000, we were sort of skeptical going into this race whether or not the Gen 3 car would actually deliver a good Bathurst, and by Christ it has. Mainly due to Mother Nature coming in and having a big old sook over the track, this race delivered so much chaos, so much carnage, so much intensity, so much so, is this better than the 2014 Bathurst race? Comment down below. I'm going to post this video sort of how Eric Estep does with his NASCAR race review, where he goes over the winner, the top result finishes. I'm going to go over the top 10, some notable other people, and also how the final series is going. Like and subscribe so my cat can get that moth that's flying around my kitchen at the moment. So we're just going to go straight into the winners. Car number 100, Matthew Payne and Garth Tander. Going into the race on Sunday, they weren't really favourites, this team overall. 18th was the best placed Grove car. Yes, the other car qualified worse than that, but over the day, they crawled into it. Yes, the rain came at the right time, which is the case for a lot of these top finishers when we go over the top 10, but they managed to have the pace, not fall off the road too many times, because right at the end of the race when Matt Payne was side by side with Cooper Murray going into the chase, he did fall off, lucky not to lose more than 2 spots, but he managed to do the Stephen Bradbury and be at the right place at the right time with about 4 laps to go, and he would get the win. His Matt Payne's first win in the Bathurst 1000 and the team's first win as well. For his co-driver Garth Tander, this was not his first win. This was his 6th, going equal with Mark Scaife and Larry Perkins on the all-time wins list. I'm going to make a video later on in the week and or early next week, depending on when I have the time to do it, about the history and the level of legendary status that Garth Tander has at Bathurst. Fun fact, this is also the second time that a Penrite racing car has won Bathurst with a special livery. Remember when they had the 2017 win? That was also a special livery. Let's go over some of the other top 10 result finishes. Team 18 actually got a result at Bathurst, who would have thought? The number 20 car of Reynolds and Holdsworth managed to have good wet weather runs, especially on the long run. He managed to claw back a 5-second margin at the end there to make a 3-car scrap, a 4-car scrap. But that G'day Grape car, that was in the fight for most of the race. When Kostecki and Waters had that really intense side-by-side battle at about lap 62, who was in 3rd/4th? Lee Holdsworth. Team 18 have had shocking results at Bathurst over the years. I can't really think of them having a decent result other than 2014 when Jack Perkins was running in that car full time. So it's good to see them finally get the Bathurst monkey off their back. Same with the 3rd place guys, Premier Racing. This is the car that's probably shrouded in the most controversy for the race. With about 4 laps to go, the reason why Matt Payne did the Bradbury move was because James Golding and Cooper Murray were in a fight for the lead. And going into Griffin's Bend, James Golding sent it down the inside of Cooper and hit him. He would end up getting a 5-second penalty, but still lead over the line. But that would drop him back to 3rd. And once again, David Russell squeaks out a good result at the Mountain. He is aging like fine wine. 4th place was Cooper Murray and the rookie Joe Stewart. They were so close to getting a win, and if Cooper got a win and Matt Payne was in the correct spot for Cooper's sake, he would have been in the final series because he and Job would have won the Enduro Cup. But I was overly impressed by this team car combination, everything about it. Especially Job Stewart. He is probably going to be my star of the weekend once again. He managed to hold his own not only with full-time drivers, but also in the wet, which I did not see coming. They did the same strategy as they did last race, where they started Cooper and managed to get him into 2nd place very early, only behind Todd Hazelwood in the Shell V-Power car. Fifth was Cameron Hill and Cameron McLeod. Not a bad recovery, all things considered, because Cameron McLeod spun Nash Morris around that lap 60 to 70 mark. That would end up getting them a 15-second penalty, and they did have that 8th place curse, so unfortunately they were never going to win, but it was a good result regardless. 6th was Brock Feeney and Jamie Whincup. Another good recovery considering things, because that car was in the wall. It brought out one of the safety cars rather late, and they managed to get that lucky dog thing where they got their lap back. Still don't agree with the rule, but who cares, it happens. And they managed to get the pace right at the end and finish 6th. Next was Heimgartner and Fraser. They really stayed towards the back of the pack for most of the race and just stayed out of trouble. Unfortunate for Heimgartner because, as we'll go over later, he was so close to a final series position. Four corners away from the end, he was in the final series, but because he got passed by Feeney and then the next car passed another car, he managed to fall to 11th position in points. That next car in 8th position was Kai Allen and Dale Wood. This car was smashed pillar to post. He was hit by Brody Kostecki, he was hit by a few other cars, nearly hit a kangaroo going 240 Ks, but he managed to squeeze past the number 3 car, who was having his own issues throughout the race, and ended up getting 8th place and a final series berth. 9th place, Aaron Cameron and Zach Best. This car was another standout. They managed to, again, get on the right tyre at the right time, but Zach Best showed that car had pace. The highest place this car legitimately was 2nd. It was good to see from this car because as Aaron Cameron started his first stint, he pancaked the wall coming off turn 2, and everyone was surprised that thing was still going straight. They had a camera underneath the wheel well, and that thing was buckled like fuck. So it's good to see Blanchard Racing Team get a good result. And running out the top 10 was the first of the wildcards, Craig Lowndes and Zach Bates. Once again, another impressive run from Craig Lowndes. Zach Bates did show some speed, fell off the road a few times, had that rally prowess getting that car out of the muddy grass. Some other shout out to the 2 other wildcards. They had some good finishes, 13th and 15th for the Tickford and the Matt Stone car respectively. One car that was lapped down was the 96 car, Jordan Boys and Macaulay Jones. This car was around the top 10, around about that area for the whole race, but he got punted by Richie Stanaway, who got a points penalty in the end because he ended up actually retiring because of an accident late in the race, and he would finish a lap down, but they would probably have been on for a top 10 result. And finally, my pick for the race, Cameron Waters and Mark Winterbottom. At lap 71, Frosty would actually make a mistake going out of the elbow and hit the wall and do some considerable damage to the front. Surprised that they managed to squeeze out a top 10, but I think the damage was too much to try and get through the pack. And those that had tales of woe throughout that whole race, Shell V-Power Racing had a double blow. Firstly, Tony Delberto brought out the first safety car when he clouded the wall leaving the elbow, and secondly, the 38 car, the pole-sitting car, Kostecki and Hazelwood, they had a strong start in the dry, and when Kostecki got in that car, it was still quick. He was still running up front, but then they started getting some alternator issues and they were doing a battery swap in the pit stop, and unfortunately Kostecki fucked it up. He was one of those people that smashed up Kai Allen, and he got a drive-through penalty for it. He got a drive-through, the car was stuffed, he then ended up in the gravel. It was not a good day for Shell V-Power. Honestly, same with Red Bull and Pole. They were lucky to get a result at all. I mean, like I said, Brock Feeney ended up in the wall, Will Brown ended up in the wall and ripped the wing off it. That was one of the safety cars. BJR had rough days for 2 of their cars. Jackson Evans hit the wall hard up at the Solomon Park when it started really raining, and Bryce Ford and Brad Vaughan's day didn't really even end up getting going. They had some sort of drive shaft issue right off the line. So from the get-go, when they actually got properly going, they were already like 20 laps down. And finally, Walkinshaw and Andretti United. Coming back to the green flag after the D'Alberto pit stop, Chaz Mostert had some sort of engine issues and he had to pull off the side of the road and retire. And then he would have that legendary clip of him grabbing the beer off the fan. And it didn't really get any better later in the race. Ryan Wood and Jayden Ojeda was one of those cars in the leading hunt. That car actually led the most laps at about 45 laps, but unfortunately, with about 20 laps to go when he was in the prime spot in second place fighting for the lead, that car would experience issues. It would slow down considerably, and Ryan Wood and Jayden Ojeda would have their hard luck story at the mountain. So all in all, a crazy race. I was on the edge of my seat watching this basically the whole time. Even when there was lull periods, it was when it was starting to rain, and continuing to rain. So you never know what was going to happen. As we head into the next round, we've got the final series coming up. Here's your top 10 as they sit. You've got Brock Feeney and Matt Payne. Matt Payne and Garth Tander won the Enduro Cup, so he gets the 25 bonus points. Then you've got Will Brown and Cameron Waters. Kostecki actually leapfrogged Chaz Mostert. Anton De Pasquale managed to hold on to a final series spot after hitting the wall at the S's. Thomas Randall had a few issues throughout the day, but he managed to hold on to an 11th place finish and a final spot. Ryan Wood, even with his issues, managed to hold on to it. And same with Kai Allen, he squeezed into the top 10. Again, another proper video is coming up highlighting all these guys' efforts throughout the year, so stay tuned to my YouTube channel for that. In conclusion, this race is a modern classic. This will be one of those races like 2014, like 2006 that we talk about for years, 2007 as well. Talk about for years saying how good was that race. It was so good. I mean, it was one of the best Bathursts that I've ever seen in my lifetime. And I'm 25. Leave your thoughts about the race and my channel in the comments down below. If you like what you see and you want to see more, give a like, subscribe. Support is always appreciated, and follow me on my other social medias. Over there, I report news on supercars and all sorts of motorsports. And see you in the next video, whenever that is.